Here with Mike Davis, Article 3 Project. Ladies and gentlemen, the next acting Attorney General of the United States of America. Here he is, Mike Davis.
Well, thank you for having me, Jack.
Because I haven't caused enough trouble, so I figured I'd bring Davis on.
Yeah.
And then do we have time for a quick special crashing human events? Crashing human events, ladies and gentlemen. We got the next Attorney General, and the person.
Mike?
The person who will confirm the Attorney General, it is the next senator from the state of Arizona, Kari Lake.
I don't want to ruin her Senate career.
No, I know. I can't. All right. I can't promise votes. I can't promise votes.
I wish I could vote for you.
Kari, how are you liking CPAC?
It is so great. I mean, I think back to my first time at CPAC when I came just to watch and see what was going on. And now I realize that this is the conference that is changing the world. We are seeing world leaders here. The president of El Salvador. Tomorrow, I believe, we're having Milei.
Yes.
If I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, Javier Milei.
And we're having the most consequential leader of our time and possibly one of the most consequential leaders in human history, President Donald J. Trump. This is where news is happening, and this is where the conservative movement is being molded and grown, frankly, to go out and save America.
Now, President Bukele said last night, and it was an incredible speech, where he said the theme of CPAC this year is where globalism goes to die. But he said that in El Salvador, it has already been killed. If you're elected to the United States Senate this year, can we, as a country, finally pull ourselves out of this globalist system?
Absolutely, 100%. I don't just have optimism, I have confidence, because we saw what President Trump was able to do in his last administration, his last term. He was able to do a lot, even though he had, the deep state working against him. Now imagine if the people are with him and he has some backup and support in Washington, D.C. We have seen in El Salvador. At one point, El Salvador was the murder capital of the world. It is now one of the safest countries in Central America. It can turn around quickly, and I believe that's just been in the last 3 years that they've been able to turn this around. What we have to do, though, is use every ounce of our energy to get out there and make it happen by November of 2024. And keep in mind, we already know what the policies are. We know how to turn this around, but we just have to realize the power that we hold when we work together. It's truly amazing. President Trump is the man to do this. We're watching people like Viktor Orban turn things around in Hungary. We're watching El Salvador. We're watching these nations where it looked like all hope was lost, and they've turned things around quickly.
And Milei down in Argentina slashes his administrative state, shuttering departments, and all of a sudden they have a budget surplus, and he's only been in office a couple of weeks.
It's amazing, and I think we will see that as well. When we are not pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into endless wars overseas, when we're not doing that, think about what we could have done with that money here at home. We could have solved the water crisis in the West. We could have built the wall. We could have given Americans who want good jobs but don't have the training, job training. Or for goodness sake, we could have returned a whole lot of money back to the taxpayers. So we just have to stop this. I call it money laundering, because it's pouring overseas into countries to start wars, and we have no accountability where those dollars are going.
Kari, where can people go to follow you, to get involved with the campaign?
They go to karilake.com, KARILAKE.com. We've had a bunch of reputable polls come out showing that we are ahead. We don't know yet if Kyrsten Sinema is going to run, but it's starting to look like she's not. But we are going to be going to battle with one of the most radical Democrats in all of Washington, D.C. He makes AOC look mainstream. So we got to win this Senate race. We need to give President Trump the majority in the Senate so he can get his Agenda 47 accomplished. And I'm going to be there to work with him and make sure we do that.
Amen. Folks, would you like to see Kari Lake in the United States Senate? What do you say?
This crowd is great.
I think you've won these guys over.
Okay, any of you voting in Arizona? Okay, we need some Arizona voters here. Right there.
All right.
He said, I'll move to Arizona to vote for you. Thank you for what you do. We're all part of a big movement here. And it takes all of us. And I want people at home to know that you were born for this moment. You are here for this moment. And you may not think you have the ability to make a change, but you do. Get involved, knock doors, get involved with a campaign you care about, make a donation if you can. I know we're in Biden's economy, it's not easy. Get involved and do something. We have 10 months to save our country, and I just know we're going to do it.
10 months to save America. Kerry Lake, the next senator from the state of Arizona. Great polling, by the way, recently. Great polling. I saw that. God bless. Thank you. Kerry Lake, storming the set, folks. Storming the set. Mike Davis, now we promised that you would be the next Attorney General, possibly only acting attorney. We'll use a pocket confirmation. You know the process better than anyone. Walk us through, because we're already talking about the end. When I say the end of democracy, I mean their democracy, the liberalism wasting disease that has taken over Washington. What are some of the first moves you would make as Attorney General? Because I've said, day one of the new American Republic, we are calling for righteous retribution. Retribution!
Well, I would say this, Jack. As you know, I can't get confirmed to anything, but I would say someone like Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton would be a fantastic Attorney General, and whoever Trump brings in as his Attorney General, it is time to clean house at the Justice Department. It is time to clean house at the FBI. It's time to clean house at these various U.S. attorneys' offices, particularly in D.C., because they have been loaded up with Democrat operatives and they have been politicized and weaponized to go after Trump, his top aides, his lawyers, his supporters on January 6th, parents, Christians, while they give amnesty to Joe Biden and every scumbag Biden, Antifa, BLM, Hamas. We cannot have a politicized and weaponized justice system, and that means we have to clean house in the Trump 47 Justice Department.
We have a country right now where violent criminals are allowed out on the streets, right here in Washington, D.C., right up the river. And at the same time, the people, who do they lock up? They lock up pro-lifers. They lock up people who were peacefully protesting on January 6th, which, by the way, I was going to say this on stage, but one of the lines we had was, you have a God-given right in this country to protest a stolen election. No one can take that right away from you and call you an insurrectionist. You have a right to be there. We had a right to be there. I was there on January 6th, peacefully marching, peacefully there in support of the effort, by the way, to actually look into what happened during the election. And so when I made this comment, people are saying, oh, Posobiec says he wants another January 6th. I said, yes, a January 6th where we certify the votes for Donald J. Trump.
That's exactly right. What Biden and his Justice Department have done to these January 6th defendants is unconscionable. We have a First Amendment right. We have a God-given right to protest our government, and it is only illegal to object to presidential elections in third world Marxist hellholes like North Korea, right? And that's where the Democrats are taking this country. What happened on January 6th? It was a lawful protest permitted by the National Park Service that devolved into a riot. And what the Democrats, what Joe Biden, Merrick Garland, and his Justice Department are doing is they're using January 6th as a pretext to round up political opposition and throw them in prison. That is not a democracy.
The same way, and how ironic is it, by the way, that here we are, and I know you were here last night as well as myself, that the president of El Salvador comes to the United States to lecture us about our issues of losing freedom, our issues of losing liberty. It's like, wait a minute, the whole world is upside down when El Salvador, and God bless, by the way, President Bukele and everything that he's done down there, if they can figure it out, we can figure it out. And the number one thing beyond all of this, not only justice for the Jan 6ers, but they are trying to put President Trump behind bars. They've arrested him 4 times. They're trying to strip him of the ballot. If you want to talk about anti-democracy, I don't think what else you could do other than that.
Yeah, nothing screams democracy like impeaching someone twice for nonsense, indicting him 4 times for non-crimes, trying to throw him in prison for 700 years, trying to bankrupt his business for non-fraud, or having some nut job like Jean Carroll make up allegations against him. And when that all backfires, we're just going to take him off the ballot. Nothing screams democracy like taking the leading presidential candidate off the ballot like the Democrats are trying to do to Donald Trump. If this were another country, we would sanction that country for what Joe Biden and Democrats are doing to Trump, his top aides, his lawyers, his supporters. supporters, parents, Christians. This is a war on the American people.
It absolutely is. That's absolutely right. Mike Davis is our guest. We'll be coming back more. Quick break here. By the way, you know what's funny? So Joyanne Reid, I gotta get this out because I watched her and we played the clip and she said, oh, and Posobiec and his ilk, she loves the word ilk, they want a constitutional convention to open up. I said, whoa, I'm not even calling for a constitution. I've never said that. In fact, I've said, I just want to put the regular Constitution back first. If we can restore that and actually get some people into office in free and fair elections, then maybe we can discuss going through the amendment process. But Constitutional Convention, I've never even called for it. I never said it, Joy. I don't know where you're getting this stuff. It's amazing. It's so amazing the lengths they will go to lie. Stay tuned. Right back. Universal.
Today, you know, they talk about influencers. These are influencers, and they're friends of mine. Jack Posobiec. Where's Jack? Jack, who's done a great job.
All right, Jack Posobiec back live here at CPAC. Give it up, CPAC! Give it up, everyone. I have a question. Do we have any Patriots in the audience today? One or two. All right. Do we have any J6 families around today? Is that, I can't see past the light. That's Ashley, you're Ashley's mom. God bless. Ashley Babbitt's mom is here right now. Do we have anyone? Parker, do we have anyone who could get a camera out there real quick? All right, 2 minutes. Give us 2 minutes. I got to do an ad read here. I got to pay the bills. Folks, this is Ashley Babbitt's mother. Go over here and can I get a round of applause in memorial for Ashley Babbitt, what they did to her that day, and what they've done to you to try and besmirch your name and her memory. God bless. We'll get a camera in just a minute. Folks, the world is descending into chaos. Every day it feels more and more like something radical needs to be done to fix it. But one thing you don't have to worry about is your clothes. Rhone is our partner for today. They saw the need for radical reinvention, stepped up to the challenge. Rhone's commuter collection, I love Rhone, by the way. I love my Rhone shirts. They're so comfortable, they're breathable, a versatile set of products, the most known to man. We're talking pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, blazers, and so many more for every occasion. Their 4-way stretch fabric, it's so breathable, it's flexible, means there's one less thing to be uncomfortable with. They're also made with wrinkle release technology and gold fusion anti-odor technology, so you'll be smelling fresh and clean all day long. 100% machine washable. So go to Rhone.com/Poso, that's RHONE.com and /Poso, and enter promo code POSO for 20% off your order. The Commuter Collection can get you through any workday and straight to whatever comes next. That's roan.com/Poso. Use promo code POSO to save 20% off your entire order. 20% of your order when you head to roan.com, RHONE.com, promo code POSO. Find your corner office comfort. All right, Parker, let me know when we get that. Are we set up? One more minute. Okay, so real quick, Mike Davis, if you can give us so we know Fani Willis has everything's blown up. The cell phone data is out there. I kind of feel like that case is going to get blown up along with her, and yet Alvin Bragg, we hear, is going to be seating a jury in just a couple of weeks' time. Walk me through the process there.
That is the first indictment ever for the non-felony of settling a nuisance claim. A businessman settles a nuisance claim, and the prior Manhattan DA passed over this case. The Manhattan U.S. Attorney passed over this case. The Federal Election Commission passed over this case. And Alvin Bragg himself, this Soros-funded Manhattan DA, passed over this case. It wasn't until Matthew Colangelo got sent from the number 3 office in the Biden Justice Department to resurrect this zombie case against President Trump. And it is a laughably stupid case. They're trying to take a businessman settling a nuisance claim and turning it into campaign finance felonies. And so if they're going to go with one of their cases, the Democrats are going to go with one of their 4 criminal cases. This is the worst one for them, politically and legally.
All right, no, real quick. I think, do we have Mickey? Are we all set up? Let's go. Mickey Without, right?
Yes,
Mickey
yes.
Without,
Mickey
the
Without.
mother of Ashley Babbitt, exclusive interview. Mickey, what can we do to try to get justice for what happened to your daughter?
Well, Judicial Watch is taking that under their wing, and they're pursuing justice for Ashley Babbitt. What we need to know right now, and would be so important to Ashley, is to realize that the 2-tier justice system that's coming after President Trump right now has got 1,300 American citizens hemmed up in that don't have the notoriety and the lawyer power behind them, and they sit and languish in jail. We hold a vigil outside the D.C. jail every night to draw attention to this. The men and women inside that jail sing the national anthem every night at 9 o'clock. We have held a vigil for 571 days. We're there every night to sing the national anthem with them. You can go to forashley.com and find streams to that. You can also find links to write these American prisoners and let them know that America has not forgotten about them, even though it seems like it. And we need to know that American citizens for misdemeanor charges are sitting in jail for 7.5 years. These are people. They have families. They have children. They have mothers. They have fathers that love them, and they're forgotten by this country. So as we watch President Trump come under attack from this 2-tier justice system and this criminal kangaroo court system he's in, that this is happening to American citizens. These are not criminals. This is Main Street America we have in prison, and American citizens should be righteously indignant about that. We have American patriots in jail, political hostages, because they are literally still sitting there for no other reason than they dared question this United States administration and this government.
Tell us the website again where people can go to get that information about joining the prayer service, joining the national anthem, and even if people just want to support you guys being there, tell us the website again to make sure everybody hears it.
It's the number 4ashli.com. We have all our live streamers. We have live streamers out there every night, and if y'all are in the area tonight, please join us. We call it Freedom Corner. It's at 1901 E Street. We're around the back of the jail.
Freedom Corner. You know, they want to talk to us about political prisoners and the treatment of dissidents in other countries, in authoritarian regimes. I would ask all of those people to come here and speak with Ashley Babbitt's mother about the treatment of dissidents in this country.
Amen.
And what has been done to people who were not posing a threat, to people who are unarmed, and to people who went to protest a stolen election. God bless you, Mickey.
Thank you.
forashley.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack.
Now, Mike, President Trump, and he said this multiple times, that he wants to institute a task force to review every single political prisoner case. Walk me through, how do you Because I'm sure one of the issues there is that every federal prisoner is going to claim they're a political prisoner. So how do you differentiate? What would the task force like that look like? And I'm not asking if you've been tasked to come up with any of it to reveal anything proprietary, but just walk me through the process a little bit.
Well, I would say this: if we just step back and remember, we can't have two systems of justice in America. We can't send the full force of the Justice Department and the FBI on the biggest law enforcement operation in American history to go after January 6th protesters. They were there lawfully. There was a permit from the National Park Service. Some of them got out of control and it turned into a riot.
And by the way, and I said this, was speaking on NBC earlier, and I'm not saying that didn't happen. However, I physically saw with my own eyes that was a peaceful crowd until the police fired on them with flashbangs and rubber bullets. They were peaceful until the police opened up.
Yeah, I mean, I ran the Kavanaugh confirmation hearing as the chief justice or the chief counsel for.
Well, I remember those. That was
chief
not
counsel
peaceful.
for nominations. Those were not peaceful protests. They interrupted the proceedings constantly.
So ask Jeff Flake about his little elevator moment.
They trapped senators. They threatened senators. They disrupted the proceedings constantly. Not a damn thing happened to them, right? So we can't have a justice system where if they agree with your political viewpoints, they're going to give you amnesty, and if they disagree, they're going to throw the full force of federal law enforcement after you.
And let's talk about people like Matt Perna and the other J6ers who, after they were found guilty in some cases or in other cases, when they started going after them and they started tacking on these escalated enhanced terrorism charges, and they go and they took their own lives because they saw what Biden and Garland's Department of Justice was doing to them. So if you want to tell me that this government doesn't have blood on their hands, this current government as it sits right now does have blood on their hands, and not just Ashley Babbitt, but also those J6ers as well.
I would say this: unless the Biden Justice Department starts arresting and prosecuting BLM and Antifa and Hamas and abortion industry activists for their much more dangerous and deadly protest, every one of these January 6th should be pardoned.
Across the line. By the way, Matt Gaetz, I want to cut over here real quick. Matt Gaetz